Welcome to the Holy Homegirl podcast, where faith is real, fun is allowed, and wholeness is the goal.
We're just two holy homegirls navigating life as Christian women.
We love God, but we also believe in fun, enjoying life, and becoming the best whole versions of ourselves.
This is a space where we have the real and sometimes uncomfortable conversations that really need to be had,
while still keeping God at the center of it all.
So grab your tea, get comfortable, and stay tuned.
Because you're about to be inspired, challenged, and reminded that you're never walking this journey alone. Welcome to the Holy Homegirl podcast. I am Quanice.
I'm Tanessa.
And we are your Holy Homegirls. Why do we always do that? Literally, every time after we finish, we always look at each other like, okay. So, welcome back, y'all.
That was a whisper. That for sure was a whisper.
Y'all, I literally have this thing with Tanessa, and you guys can't see it because I edited it out, right? But literally every single time we start, she's always like, welcome to the Holy Homegirl podcast. All whispering.
Okay, that for sure sounded like a whisper. But is that how my intro sounds?
Yes. I'm telling you. Welcome back, y'all.
Hi.
Welcome back. So
I'm just gonna do something. How do you say hi inside?
I feel like it's just this.
I feel like there's something else to say hi.
I don't know.
I'm gonna learn.
I don't know. I know this. Thank you.
Oh, I don't know. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys for. Thank you guys for watching us. But yes, welcome back, y'all.
Yes, indeed.
The last episode that we dropped was dope.
Yeah, forgiveness. No access.
Without access, yeah. We got a lot of good response from that.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people can honestly relate to forgiveness. And we talk about church stuff all the time and how in church it feels like you have to forgive and put it on the time schedule. And no, that's not the reality. So I love that we were able to really unpack that in real time. That takes into the holistic space of the podcast, not just like, we saved, but we journeying through it
absolutely
too. So
because one thing I know both of us, like, it bothers us when people, especially people of the church, how they say like, you have to do this, you have to do that, but they don't show what it like really looks like to navigate through that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's really what this space is for, is like, let's have the conversation and let's walk that thing through. You know what I'm saying?
And let's document the walkthrough. Yeah. Because that is true. We get information, we get instruction, but we don't get bullet points. Yeah. To be like, okay, this is how you
what it actually looks like.
Yeah. Pause here. How do you feel?
It's always the finished product.
Yes, it's never the journey. It's never the process. But I think that's a good segue into what we got today.
What are we talking about today, Miss?
Today is I'm still becoming.
I'm still becoming.
And we're going to unpack what that means. Yeah. It's a little bit of growth. It's a lot of grace. More grace. Yeah. More growth. And your favorite quote?
You got to grow through what you go through?
Yes.
I had to stop and think,
I was like, which one? You thinking like, which one? Okay.
Which one?
Yeah, because there's a million, but.
It's crazy that this is something that we're talking about because, you know, there's things that, like, I'm working on, behind the scenes and stuff. And that's one of the things that is, like, that I'm literally working on is becoming her. Like, becoming her, becoming whole, like, the becoming. Literally the becoming.
It's a fun journey. And we get to do it together. So that's important too. Okay.
So how we gonna unpack?
Right. It's like, how we gonna unpack? Because we've been saying the last couple of weeks, we was crying. We was crying. It was giving real life tears. And we here for it, but at the same time, we like, okay, you're not about to have us in here crying every week.
Literally.
That's not gonna be a thing.
But it's needed because, like, the things that we go through, like, they're real. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I always say, like, there's power in testimony. You know what I'm saying? And we never know, like, when we share our testimonies, even though it hurts us, even though it's, like, painful and things like that, But when we share our testimonies, we have no idea who else we're freeing in that.
Somebody else might have like there's another person that's experienced that. Or also, if someone is currently going through it, then there's like hope and victory at the end to be able to look at something to say, okay, they're in the same situation as me. Or their situation was worse than mine. I can get through. So, yeah. That's a good one. Okay, so we are going to talk about the process and how becoming her feels, how to handle what you feel.
Because there's like a weird space between like who we are and who like God called us to be, or who God said, who God is shaping us to be. Like, there's a weird space that people don't talk about. It's like our reality versus like what we know God said about us.
And then how to get there.
How to navigate through that,
Because there's that picture of your plan. It's like your plan and God's
the flowers,
plan.
the little small flowers.
Flowers.
Yes, I see like the it said like God's plan, and it's like a little like bouquet of roses.
No,
and
that's a different
my
one.
plan, and then God's plan is a garden.
Yes, that's a different one though. The one that I've seen has like the little arrows, like your plan is straight.
Yes,
and then God's one's like but you're talking like the one with the bear and stuff too that has like, okay, this little thing that you have, but he has something bigger, and every time that you like let God lead, it gets bigger and bigger. So yeah, that's a different one. But it's still aligned.
Same thing.
Yeah. It's like
so navigating through that. It's hard. It's hard. It really, really is, because we have these ideas that we have for ourselves, right? Because we're so hopeful. Our imaginations are so broad, right? And we think that we need to be in certain spaces and places at certain times, and when it doesn't pan out that way, it's like
heavy.
It's hard.
And I think when I think about becoming her, it doesn't make me believe that there's an end mark. So like everything that we're doing is truly a journey that happens day in and day out. It is truly a process of taking away the old and forgiving yourself in that too. And then walking into the fullness that God has for us, because we know that we are mirror images of him. And when he sees us, he doesn't see our sin. He doesn't see our fault. He sees his baby girl. He sees his baby girl. I always joke and say, you're God's favorite. But I say that to everybody because you should feel like you're God's favorite. And so becoming her is asking yourself, how do you treat your favorite people? You love them, you honor them, you respect them, you cover them, you adore them, you protect them, you laugh with them, you compliment them, you correct them, you do not condemn them. There's a lot that happens into becoming this vessel of joy and light in spite of the darkness that's
it's transformative. Truly, it honestly is. And I think it starts with us really realizing and knowing that like our stories are already written. And I think that that's what helps to keep me grounded in moments where life doesn't look like what I hoped it would, is to know like God knew I would be right here. Like my story's already written. God knows when the desires of my heart will come to pass. He knows when these things are going to happen, and I just have to like wait. Trust.
Wait well, as you always
wait
say.
Well.
And so the peaceful thing about that to me is because God does already know that victory is at the end, you can move different. Like you really truly
it's a certain peace.
It is a certain peace that you have of knowing that in spite of, God has already orchestrated it, and because he is who he is, there is nothing that you will experience or encounter that does not have victory stamped on it. I said that I said that before, but I mean that wholeheartedly. Whatever you endure, God already stamped it as victory, because he will be able to be glorified from that if you trust in him. So the heartache, the disappointment, the joys, all of that looks like victory at the end.
Yep.
Because we're able to tell the story. Like even with last week's episode or the week before, we were able to talk about some of the experiences that we
went through.
But we shared it with our viewers, and they've been through it.
Yeah.
So that's God getting the glory and not the enemy who wanted us to feel shame and hold it in. But no, we literally let it out for the entire world to possibly see, because for what?
Yeah.
God is good.
Exactly.
He's kind.
And also too, like, you know how I mentioned earlier that like it's freeing when we share our testimony like for someone else, but it's also freeing for ourselves. Yeah. And I feel like we don't talk about that enough, about how like releasing things, rather it's like releasing it like in its totality or releasing it like by verbally speaking it, how freeing that is.
Yeah. And I think I know this particular episode isn't about forgiveness, but I do believe that in order to truly be free, you have to forgive, and in order to forgive, you have to be free.
Yeah.
Like you have you have to be open to saying, this happened, this was my experience, it made me feel X, Y, and Z, and then to unpack that a little bit more, because there's no way that we can become her but be hateful and be spiteful, be unkind, because if we're walking in the fruit of the Spirit, what does that look like?
Exactly.
What does that require of us? A daily dedication to being patient, to being gentle, to being kind, which I don't think that's actually one of them, but it goes in the listing of like the characteristics of her. Yeah. She is kind. She is patient. She is a light in a dark space. Yeah. She's funny.
Because we're funny. That's what you got to know.
Know it. It's like awkward funny, goofy funny, all the funnies.
Weird funny, all the funnies.
All the funnies that you can be, besides funny looking.
Facts, because ain't never gave funny looking.
Although I wasn't funny looking
ever.
Kid, though.
But I think that with that too, it's like, yes, we have that peace in knowing that like we have that peace. However, it gets hard and it's frustrating sometimes. And I don't want people to think that just because we live life with having the peace of knowing that like God's plans for our life will come to pass when he's ready and his timing and all that, it doesn't mean that in our process of things, like we're not frustrated and we're not having these honest conversations with God, saying like, God, this ain't looking like what you said it was going to look like. Or we're not sliding down the wall, ugly crying like Taraji P. Henson. You know what I mean? Like, it's like...
Yeah. And I think one of the pieces with that too is how we approach frustration, how we approach God with our frustration. Yeah. Because there's also this stigma sometimes in church that when you're talking to God, you know, you got to use those big words and you got to be super, you know, you got to come in with your white robe on and your prayer shawl. And if that's how you pray, that get down how you get down. Right. That's totally fine. But sometimes I'm like, bruh. Yeah. And I'm not saying bruh in the sense of like, I know you're not my bruh, but it's just like, I'm so frustrated. And I know that I can go to God in a way that is communicative because he knows me. He knows how I communicate, and he knows that I'm not dishonoring him. But he also knows that this is how sometimes I need to talk. I need to get this out and be like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe whatever. XYZ. Yeah. Because that's freeing. That's what freedom is being your authentic self. Your true self. And so to become her, you have to figure out who you are. Who you are. Yep. The ins and outs of who you are, not what you've experienced, not what people said about you, and not what you answer to. Yeah. Because just because you answer to something does not mean that that is in alignment with who God said you to be. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. What you got?
I think that something that I wanted to, and I know I kind of like touched on it last week, was even in those moments, like it's important that we take our mask off and we're being honest with God and we're telling him like, Lord, like this is how it's looking, this is how I'm feeling, like, it does us no good. It does us no justice to suppress things and to hide things from him, because at the end of the day, he knows.
Yeah.
He's just waiting for us.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So when we talk about process, what would you say giving yourself grace looks like when things might feel like they're too slow for you?
If I'm being honest, that's hard. It's hard for me because, like, I really try to work on, like, being patient and, like, just trusting God, trusting his will, trusting his way. And I try to tell myself in those moments where it does feel slow that, like, okay, Quanice, there's something that you need to continue to work on. And so instead of me praying for whatever my heart's desires are, like continuing to pray for those desires, I take a step back and I change my language, and I say, like, okay, I know you know my desires of my heart, Lord. However, I need you to show me so that I can work on those things, so that I can be who it is that you've called me to be, so that when that time comes for me to step into the things that I desire, like, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm prepared. I want to make sure that I'm postured. I want to make sure my heart is postured correctly. Because I look back over, like, back in the day when, you know, I was with other people and things like that, and I thought that I was ready for marriage, and, like, you know, I was ready to, like, settle down and things like that. And looking back as who I am today, looking back at that girl, I was not ready like I thought I was. There was a lot of healing. There was a lot of pruning that I needed to do that, had I gotten married at that time, like, I probably would have been divorced and some more stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a real thing. Well, y'all know that I have actually been married before. And I was 24. I'm not 24 anymore. So over the years, there has been so much that I have learned about who I am, what I need, and what I am okay with accepting and not accepting, what I'm okay with changing, what needs to be already established before. And a lot of what I learned was that I wasn't ready either. Even though I was married, I came from this belief that you don't need to shack up, which you don't. You don't need to shack up. But that doesn't mean you immediately get married if you're not ready. So it's not something, I don't regret my marriage, because the lessons that I have are so good for this season of my life. And the next time that I get married, I know that things are going to be different. But it taught me, I'm going to say it this way, divorce taught me about me more than my marriage did. And I hate that that was the way around it. But the beauty in that is that it taught me how to be a better woman, how to be a better friend, how to be a better support system. Because that's a whole nother episode for another time. But being able to look at those situations and say, okay, you didn't have to go through that being married and then feeling like, oh man, I may have been divorced. Whereas I can say, yeah, I've been married and I am divorced, but the women that we are today are so much better than who we were 10, 15 years ago. That's the beauty in it, because the grace of God is so sufficient for us that it's not based on what we think or what we've done, but it's on who he is and what he has in store for us, because that story's not going to end until we die.
Absolutely.
We literally get to say we are walking this thing out until Jesus comes back and he's like, hey y'all, we ride it on. So when that happens, that's when our story actually ends.
But that's the beautiful thing in, like, when we're getting to, like, the desires of our heart and the things that we're wanting and the promises that God, made for us is that like, we have to go through stuff to learn, you know what I'm saying? To learn whatever it is that God wants us to learn. Like, we have to go through things so that we can be better. Like, if we all were placed on this earth and we just knew everything and we knew how to navigate through everything and we knew how to get through heartbreak and we knew how to get through this and we knew how to get through that, like, we would never learn anything. Yeah. We would never be able to grow. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's why these lessons, even though like I wasn't married and you were, but both of these times were pivotal in our lives because it taught us something on things for the future and not just in relationships, just like you said. It didn't just teach you things for relationships, like a romantic relationship. It taught you things for like being a friend, being a daughter. You know what I mean? It just taught you more about Tanessa. You know what I'm saying? It taught me more about Quanice. And that's what it's all about is growing.
I would have to agree with that because 10 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that I was sitting here talking about this on a podcast. Like, did I always feel like God wanted me to talk to people? Yeah, but I didn't know he wanted me to talk about my business.
Right.
My business. And I'm like, I'm comfortable with it because I've grown so much from who that person was. Now, granted, there are still some areas that come back up, and it's like, okay,
that's inevitable.
I was like, you need to kind of sit in this again and see, where this trigger is coming from or what's happening that's making you want to pull back again. Those kind of things do come up, but ultimately, I can say that the next time around, your girl is going to be an even better wife, friend, because I want to be, his friend.
Absolutely,
first,
that's important.
Because that's the episode.
That's an episode. We talked about that. That's an episode.
That's an episode to talk about. We might have to do a live episode and talk about relationships because
that's a real thing.
To bring y'all in on that one. But it's something that is super important. But I think it also leads to the next question of, have there been moments where you felt like you should have been further along?